Welcome friends. In this video we are going to discuss about Java server pages. So Java server pages is one of the web technology, Java based web technology. So this is a server side programming. Basically it is a server side programming used for creating dynamic web pages. Okay. So when you know that website how it is working. When you make a request in the browser, the request goes to the server and the server responds, right? So Java server pages is a program which will generate the response after processing the client request. Okay. So in JSP, how we can develop JSP is it is similar to HTML program. In HTML program, we can embed Java code directly inside HTML program. That is called embedding Java code. Okay. So what is the purpose of Java server pages is it is used for separating the business logic from the user interface so that we can develop web application much easier than the other technologies. Okay, we have also discussed about Java servlet, right? So we have one more technology called Java servlet, right? So when you compare Java servlet and Java server pages, this is more easier to develop web applications. Okay, but also we will be using Java servlet, we will be integrating together both Java server pages as well as Java servlet. Both are very important, and this it is together used in web application development. So that's about the introduction about what is Java server pages. How will you execute Java server pages? So for that we need a web server called Apache Tomcat. So using Apache Tomcat we can execute Java server pages. Okay. So some of the purpose of JSP programs it is used for creating web pages, more dynamic web pages, and we can read input from the user and we can process the input and we can generate response according to the client request. Also we can store user preferences in session and cookies, and there is a way to pass data between pages, and we can share the data using the inbuilt objects. So let's see what is a format of JSP program, how look like. Okay. So it is a combination of a HTML tag and JSP tags. So we have two types of tags. HTML tag already you are familiar, and we will be adding JSP tag also. Okay. So in JSP tag, how will you write? So for that we have to start with this less than symbol, percentage, and we have to close with the percentage greater than symbol. Okay. So inside only we have to write Java code. So inside we can write any Java code that will be processed by the Apache Tomcat server. Okay. So basically this JSP is a part of Java EE, but that is actually the enterprise edition. Okay, from in Java platform. Okay, and it is works with Java servlet also. Okay, so Java files actually must be saved with the .jsp so that Tomcat server will identify the file which has .jsp file and it will execute the Java code. Okay. So now let us see the structure of the JSP program. The structure of JSP programs look like this. So we have to use HTML code with the JSP tag. That is, JSP tag is nothing but the tag which is written in the percentage angle bracket. Okay. So and if you want to set some content type and all, we can write like this. Okay. So this is a general format of the JSP program. So the logic we have to write using this particular tag. So when it comes to JSP, it is all about Java programming. So we can create variables, we can create declarations, we can create operators, control statements, classes, object, everything that is available in Java we can perform in Java server pages. Okay. So now let us see how we can start learning Java server pages. In JSP there are very important components we need to study, that is called JSP tags, or it is also called as components. Okay. So first one is the directives. It will control the behavior of the whole JSP program. Okay. So the initial settings like content type, encoding and all. Okay. And also we have a declaration tag is there. It is used for declare variables, classes, methods in JSP program. Then we have a tag called script-led component. Scripted component is used for writing business logic, some execution, some computation logic we can write inside script-led tag. And we have a expression tag. Expression tag is used for displaying the data in the web page. Okay, how if you want to display some data inside the paragraph or a div element, we can use expression tag. Then action is used for including some other resources in one JSP program. Okay. So first let's start with the JSP directive. So JSP directive is written using the less than symbol, percentage. Using at symbol we have to write the directives and attribute equal to value. So there are two attributes, two directives. One is page directive and next one is include directive. Okay. So page directive is used for setting the page content type as well as the encoding scheme like UTF-8 and 8. And we have include directive for that is actually used for including some other pages. Okay. So let us see how we can create this JSP program using NetBeans IDE. So first we need to create the project in NetBeans IDE. It must be a web application project. So we have to select web application, the left side Java with Maven, and here right side you have to use web application and click next. So here we are going to discuss about JSP demonstration. So we are going to use the project name as JSP demo. Click next. So here we have configured Apache Tomcat. So Apache Tomcat server is needed for executing JSP programs. Okay. So now we have to click this finish. It will create the project. Now let us see the project is created in the left side. You can see the folder once it is created. Yeah, now this in this project explorer tab, here you can see the JSP project is created. So here we have a web pages folder. By default you will get index.html file, right? So we can delete this index.html file. We are going to use JSP program instead of that. Okay, so we can use we can right click this web pages. We can add new JSP program by using right click, select new JSP, select that. Here we can give the name of the file. So index.html we have removed. So I'm going to use index.jsp and I'm going to click finish. So when you click finish, it creates a JSP program inside web pager directory. So it will create a code also. Now we can, this command we can remove, and look at this. By default you will get a directive called at page, the content type and the page encoding format. So this is what the directive component of this JSP, right? So page directive. So then we have one more directive called include directive. So this include directive is used for including the output of another JSP program in another JSP program. Okay, for example, we have a two JSP program. So the output of one JSP program we can include in another JSP program by using include header.jsp. Okay, for example, assume that this is my page, right? So here I have configured some of the things, right? For example, this HTML coding not necessarily fully needed. Okay, so let us assume that we'll create. Okay, let us we'll just see how it is. So this is the main content, main body content I'm going to display. Okay, so with H1 tag, welcome to product development. Okay, so here this is the output you'll be getting. So let us run the program. So we have to select the Google Chrome and we have to click this option. Okay, look at this, we are getting the welcome to product development. So this is the main content of this page. So now I want to include one header. So what we can do is we can right click this, we can add another program called header.jsp. Okay, header.jsp program, and in header.jsp program we can design the header by using this and all not needed. We can remove this. Just we have to design the header. For example, here I am going to create in HTML we have a element called header. So inside header we can create one heading. Okay, so this is a header for this particular header section. Okay, so here we can configure the header contents. Okay, whatever header contents we can design here. This header I want to include here. So what you can do is less than symbol, you have to use percentage, @ and you have to use include. and the file name is equal to, you have to link this file name. Okay, what is the file name is? So you have to link the header.jsp, right? So this is the purpose of why it is needed, this directory at include. Okay, so when you save it and when you refresh this page, reload this page, so you'll get header section is added in the main program. Okay, so that is the purpose of using the JSP program, this particular at include. Okay, at include directive. Okay, so next we move on to the next tag called declarations tag. Okay, we can declare variables, functions using this tag. So how to do that? You have to use this percentage exclamation mark. Okay, percentage exclamation mark you have to use for declaring any type of data. For example, in this index page, I'm going to remove this index page. I want to display, I want to store some details. Okay, so we can use a declaration tag like this. Okay, declaration tag, and inside we can close like this. Okay, we can close that tag like this, and now we can store some variables. For example, I can store the name of the person like this. Name is equal to John. Right? Now here I have declared that name is equal to John. Okay, so here it is not single quote, it is a double quote. Okay, so like this we can declare John. Similarly, we can create a function also. For example, I want to add two numbers. Okay, so some function we can write. So int x comma y. Right, so it returns the sum of two numbers. Right, so return x plus y like this. So if you want to declare variables or functions, we have to use this declaration tag. Okay, declaration tag like this. Okay, so that's about the declaration tag. And if you want to display the result, okay, and if you want to print this particular value, okay, what we can do is we can print somewhere else, like for example using paragraph. Okay, so we can get the details about that particular variables using another tag called, there is one more tag in the next slide I'm going to discuss about this expression tag. So this expression tag is used for displaying the data from a variable or calling the functions, and we can display the results also. Okay, so how will you write this expression tag is using percentage, you have to attach equal to, then followed by variable. Okay, so that value will be printed over there. Okay, for example here I am declaring a equal to 10, and here that value of a we can display by using expression tag like this. Okay, so let us see how to do that. So here I have declared name as well as function, right? So I am going to use that. Okay, I am going to call that name, so we can display like this. Okay, if I want to display like this. Okay, so for example my name, we can write HTML code, my name is. Okay, so wherever you want to display the name, we can do like this, and we can followed by, we can use line break, and we can call the sum also. Okay, the sum is. Okay, I'm going to call this function using this expression tag, right? So we can use percentage equal to, what is the function name? Sum 5,6. Okay, we can close that expression tag, right? So now what will happen is it will call this function, and the result, after adding two number you will get result, right? The result will be printed over here. Okay, for display purpose you have to use this, the expression tag equal to. Okay, so for wherever you want to display. Okay, so now when you run the program, so you have to select this Google Chrome and run again. So when you run again, look at this, the output. Okay, the name, my name is John, we are getting. Let's keep like this. So we are getting the output like this. Okay, so we have a header section from this include header.jsp, then my name is John. Okay, and sum is 11. Okay, so whatever you want, things you want, you can print. Okay, whatever value you can print the value of a variable. You can call the functions using this declaration tag. Okay, so we discuss three things. One is directive and expression tag and declaration tag. Okay, then one more thing is called JSP scriptlets. okay, JSP scriptlets. So scriptlet is most commonly used JSP tag, okay. So there is no need to attach equal to or exclamation mark, okay. So here we have to just use the left angle bracket percentage, the percentage angle bracket, okay. So this is also we can use for declaring variables and creating a function. For example, if I creating function is not possible, okay. So basically the scriptlet tag is used for writing code block, okay. That is actually the purpose, okay. Right. So remember, scriptlet tag is used for writing the actual logic of that particular application. We have to write in the scriptlet tag, okay. So for example, here I have demonstrated the addition of two number, okay. So if I want to perform any task here, okay, right, so we can do it using using this scriptlet tag, okay. So for example, we can what we can do is we can calculate the sum of two numbers. Already we discussed, right. So we'll take some other example. We can take a number and we can make it square value, okay. A is equal to 5 and I want to calculate the square value. Square value is equal to A into A, okay. So now I want to display the square value somewhere else. So we can use the expression tag, okay, as discussed in the previously. So we have to say that the square value is the square is, we can use the expression tag now, and we can use that equal to, and the variable name is square, and we can close that expression, okay. So like this we can display, right. So since it is a paragraph, we can also give style also, like color colon red. So this will be displayed in red color. So whatever CSS we have to in HTML, that we can apply here, okay. At the same time we can apply Java code also, right. So that is advantage of JavaScript, okay, Java server pages, okay. That's advantage of learning Java server pages. We can work together, HTML, CSS and Java code. We can put together, we can do any task in web application, okay. So that's all about the JSP tags. So these tags are important. The last tag is called JSP actions, okay. So JSP action is also similar to including the header and including the resource from another JSP program, including resource from another JSP program. So here we have discussed, right. So here this is actually in this particular code we have used @include file, right. So this we can replace and we can use there is one more tag called that particular action tag, okay. The action tag is nothing but like this JSP. You have to use JSP colon small letter. So JSP colon include, okay, we have to use include, and the page should be included is we have to use the header dot JSP, right. So we have to close just like normal HTML closing, okay. So we can close like this JSP include, okay. So like this we have to close, or we can, this is not needed actually, we can close using this single closing, okay. This is also enough, okay. So now from this header.jsp, this content is actually taken, and if you return any Java servlet, the JSP code, that is also processed. For example, here I am going to write one more logic, okay. I want to find the cube of the number, right. So for example, n is equal to 5, I want to calculate the cube, okay. So cube value, right. So cube int cube is equal to n into n, okay. So 3 times I have to multiply. Now this cube value I want to display somewhere else using a paragraph, okay. So we can use JSP tag percentage equal to cube, then we have to close the percentage like this. So now according to this header, we will be getting the output like this. What is that? Cube value, okay. Header and cube value will be written over here, okay. So look at this output, we'll be getting header, and header is coming, cube is also coming. Look at this, header, cube is also coming. So if you the cube value is, so it's coming like this, right. So we are getting the the content of header.jsp page is actually added to this index.jsp page. Okay, so this tag is used for including some resource from another JSP program. Okay, so that is called JSP actions. Okay, JSP action tags. Okay, there are so many JSP action tags, so we can study this basic one include. Okay, so the next we move on to the implicit objects. So in Java server pages we have a implicit collection of objects. So these are the objects. One is request object, next is response object, and we have a session and out. Okay, so request is used for getting the data from the HTML form, right? So that form field, and response is used to send the data to the browser. Okay, and session is used for storing the user preferences, and out is used for displaying the data. Okay, so we are going to discuss this using a form handling using, the next topic is form handling using JSP. Okay, so we are going to create one form that we are going to use request and response object. Okay, so for that what I am going to do is I am going to delete this and all not needed. So here I am going to create only form. Okay, so how will you create a form? Just you have to use the HTML form. Okay, first we can create one division. So we can open a division tag. Inside division tag we can create a HTML form. Okay, so it is a registration form. I want to store some details. Okay, so for example I want to store username. Okay, so using input type is equal to text. Okay, and we are supposed to give name as a variable. Okay, so for example the name is username, then followed by it should be actually I forgot one thing is this should be include inside a form. That I forgot to include, we have to remove that, and form action is equal to we are going to write one more JSP program, save or register dot JSP. This is another program. Okay, so method is equal to post. We are going to use method equal to post, and inside only we have to keep this. Okay, so don't forget this. We have to use a form tag. Then now inside username we are getting, and I'm getting a password also. I'm going to take one more data called password. Input type is equal to password. Password is not visible, and I'm going to store in the variable called password, right? So we can use this line break. Then we need a button, right? Submit button, right? So we have to use a submit button. You can use a button tag for that button, and we can write submit, or we can say that register. Okay, so remember this by default this button is a submit button, so no need to write type is equal to submit. Okay, so now what I did is I am going to pass all the data to the register.jsp, right? So now I am going to this particular project folder. I am going to create a register.jsp file. Okay, so we have to store right click new JSP file called register.jsp. Okay, so click finish. Now here everything we can delete. Nothing is it's not needed. The content type is important, so we have to use this first line. We can first line we can copy. So first line I have copied. So now what I am going to do is here I am going to display the received data. Okay, display the received data. So let us see how to store the received data. So using the scriptlet tag, we have to use scriptlet tag. We are going to write the logic. Okay, so first one is we are going to use string name is equal to, here I am going to use the implicit objects. So, okay, we have an implicit object called request. Okay, so request dot get parameter, we have to use get parameter username. We can store the username, we can store here, right? So now it is stored. Similarly I am going to store the password also using string password is equal to request dot get password parameter. So what is the name of the variable? Password. Okay, so now I have stored the password also. Okay, now if you want to display this particular data somewhere in your program, so we can use paragraph tag, inside paragraph tag we can use that expression tag you can use, or there is one more way to display the data is we can use like this. Okay, so we can use percentage. There is one more way is you can use out.println. Okay, we can use out.println and we can display the value here like this. Okay, out.println, or you can say username. Okay, that is enough, right? So the remaining code we can display here. For example, here you need, it's a Java program, so we need semicolon is important, and here we can say that username is, okay, or username colon. Okay, the same thing we can write like this. Password is equal to, using out.println we can access that stored password and we can display here. Okay, so like this, right? So now we have to run this index page. So we have to select the browser, Google Chrome, and execute this program. Right, so it's coming, something already coming, so we can change this also. Let us use that. We'll give some other data, John, and we'll give welcome. Password is welcome 123. Okay, so register. So when you click register, here look at this, this displayed username is equal to John, password is equal to welcome to 123. So if you want to print the next line, so we have to, in the register page, what we have to do is we have to configure the line break. But line break also we have to attach. Okay, so when we learning JSP is very easy because it is more comfortable to include Java code in HTML program. Okay, so wherever you want to include Java code, use this this particular tag. Okay, and we can able to see the data here. Okay, you got it? So this out object is used for sending response to the client browser. Okay, so that's the purpose of this implicit objects, request, response, out. Then we are going to move on to session. Okay, so session object is used for storing some data in a common variable, so that that data we can access in any pages. Okay, so session is nothing but I'll show you that what is session here. Right. So session is used for storing some common data across all the JSP pages. So here we are using HTTP session, but we have a implicit object called session. Okay, so if you want to store, we can store and we can read. That's only the concept in session. Okay, so if you want to store, we can use session.set attribute. Okay, and if you want to retrieve, you have to use session.get attribute, the variable name. You have to convert as a string format. Okay, it's clear? So that's a concept, right? Suppose if you want to delete all the session data, usually when you log out, for example, when the user click log out, we can delete all the data, right? So that is actually called, that is done by using invalidate. Okay, using invalidate we can delete all the data. Okay, so let's see how to use session variable. Okay, so for example, assume that in index we are passing username password, right? So here we are getting the username password. Now I can store this username password in the session using session.set attribute. We can create one variable, okay, user ID. We can create one variable user ID. In that user ID we are going to store like this. So that's very simple. Session data we can store like that. Okay, so once you store, now this data is available as a common memory. It can be accessed by any JSP program. So let us create one more JSP program called user dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to use a dashboard page. I'm going to create a dashboard .jsp. Okay, so .jsp, when you click finish, you'll get the user dashboard page. So here we can design the user dashboard page. So for example, this is the dashboard page. So here we can say that welcome to my page. Okay, so here I want to display the name of the person who logged in. Okay, so what we can do is, here what I'm doing is, here I'm storing the value in the particular username. So next, this currently I am going to remove it. Okay. So then after storing the data in the session variable, then I want to go to another page, dashboard page. Okay, I want to move to dashboard page. So here also I want to read the session data, right? So I want to remember the name of the person, username. So what I am going to do, what I did is I have stored in session. So it is public. So it's a common data, right? So we can take the data from the session. So to move from this register page to dashboard pages, you have to use a response object. Now we have to use response object dot send redirect. Okay, send redirect to that particular page. What is the page? Dashboard page. Okay, so response object is used for doing redirecting the URL. See, the input is coming to register.jsp and we are storing the input, and we are storing in the session also, and after storing we are redirecting to dashboard.jsp. Okay, so in dashboard.jsp we are going to display welcome Mr. so and so, that particular username, right? So what we have to do is we can use this particular JSP tag and we can store that username. We can store the username by using the particular session object. Okay, so how will you take that? You have to use string conversion. You have to do session dot get attribute. We have to use session dot get attribute, and we have to mention the variable, the session variable. Session variable we have created is user ID, right? So when you pass user ID, you will get the session username. Okay, so now what we can do is this is welcome to page. So now here we can put one horizontal line. Now what I can do is I can display welcome Mr. so and so. Okay, Mr. We can display the username like this, username this percentage. Okay, got it? So for that, you have to use this expression tag that we discussed so far. Okay, so like this we can retrieve the session data. Okay, got it? So now let us run this program again and select this browser and run again. So when you run the project, we are getting this. Now I am going to give this John David as a username. Now here it is welcome 123. Now when I click register, it is going to the dashboard page. Look at the URL. It is going to the dashboard page. In the dashboard page, automatically redirected, right? So after storing the data in the session variable in the register.jsp page, the data is available in the session, right? So now I can remember the data in this dashboard page by using get attribute. Using get attribute, I can read the data, right? So in the dashboard page, it is displaying welcome Mr. John David. Okay, so that is the purpose of session object, right? So next is followed by we have a cookies. Okay, so next is we have a cookies. Cookies is similar to session object, but session object will be stored in server side. That is more important, and cookie is actually less secure because anybody can delete the cookie. Okay, usually the cookie will be created in the client. Okay, so now let us see how to store cookies. Okay, so in order to store cookie, we have to use this cookie class. We have to create cookie object, and we have to store the value. Then we can store the duration, expiry date of the cookie also. Okay, and the cookie is actually basically a small information that is stored inside the client browser. Okay, right? So inside the client browser, it is actually stored, right? So now let us see how to create cookies in JSP. Okay, so for that we have to use this class. Okay, we have to use cookie class. Let us see how to store. Okay, now look at this. In session object we are storing. At the same time we can also store in cookie also, right? So adding data in cookies. So we have to use cookie variable. There is a cookie class is there. You can use cookie is equal to new cookie. Within bracket we can use user ID. So we have to use double quotes, not single quote. User ID, then value is username. Okay, so colon. Then once you create the cookie, we can set the age, expiry date of the cookie. Okay, expiry date also we can mention here using set max age. Okay, so in set max age 60, we can use that logic called 60 into 60 concept. Okay, 60 into 60 into 24 hour. Okay, so one day it will be available. The cookie will be available one day, right? So now cookie is created. Now we have to send the cookie to the client machine, right? So for that you have to use response dot add cookie function. Okay, add cookie. We have to use the cookie object. Okay. So now it is added, right? So added, and it is redirected to dashboard page. Redirected to the dashboard page. So in dashboard page we can read the cookie value. Okay, we can read the cookie value in the dashboard page. So for that, in the dashboard page we have to write some code, okay, not to read the cookie value. Okay, so we can include one more JSP tag, and we can open another close that JSP tag percentage like this. Okay, so now here I'm going to write the I'm going to read the cookie. So to read the cookie we have to use cookie array variable. So you will be getting so many cookies from the client. So using request dot get cookies function you have to use get cookies function. So this function returns all the cookies. So we have to run a for loop int I equal to 0, I less than, this is a cookie variable, cookie array variable, cookies dot length I plus plus. Now inside we have to verify if cookie. So inside the array cookies dot we can if the cookie is equal to that particular, so we can use every cookie, right? So this is actually 1 minute. We have to use if condition cookies square bracket I if it is equal to that particular name user ID. Okay, so we have to compare with the user ID. If there is any cookies with the cookie of, we have to get the name of the cookie, and we have to compare with the user ID. If it is there, we can display. Okay, if it is there, we can store the cookie. We can say that out dot println cookies, that particular array variable. Okay, so that particular variable we can display. So before that we can write one h1 tag, and we can say that cookies from request. Okay, cookie details. Okay, so we'll so here we have to use cookies of square bracket I dot get value function. Okay, so get value function I forgot. So we have to include get value function. Okay, so like this we can access the cookie. Okay, so that's all about the Java server pages. Okay,